of the spirit of the Thousand Oaks neighborhood. I'd like to first mention the Neighborhood Association, who are our sponsors in our initial grant application for UC Chancellor's Grant. On our third try, we were successful and were funded $7,800, which was the beginning of the Urn. So the project started in TONA under the presidency of Zelda Bronstein, continued through my tenure as presidency, and was completed during Jane Tierney's presidency. Our fundraising was done solely through the Thousand Oaks Neighborhood Association newsletter, delivered by volunteers to 1,800 residences in our neighborhood. For the past 3 years, we have put an Urn Project report and an appeal in each issue. The response has been astounding. We have received more than 170 checks, large and small, from every street and several businesses on Solano. We are really gratified by the support of a civic art project for our neighborhood. The neighborhood spirit extends to our volunteers also. Contractor Mike McCutcheon, who arranged for the installation of the urns, and John Harris, our host for the garden party after today, both live on Yosemite. Alicia Connolly, who did all the site plans necessary for the permit, is a neighbor and TONA board member. Sarita Waite, our sculptor extraordinaire, is an honorary member of the neighborhood since she sculpted the bears at the Marin Circle. Refreshments today have been also prepared by neighborhood bakers. Even the music has a neighborhood tie, as musician Mike's wife grew up on Yosemite and they now live on Vicente. Of course, Trish and I have lived in Thousand Oaks for more years than we can count. But as we admire the urn and its mate at the bottom of Solano, please take pride in our neighborhood. I'm sorry, the bottom of Yosemite. Please take pride in our neighborhood and keep up the spirit of Thousand Oaks. And please join us at 1864 Yosemite for more music, local homemade lemonade, and one-of-a-kind urn cookies. Baked by neighbors using cookie cutters fashioned by our sculptor, Sarita. Thank you. Next.
To say the last 10 days have been very thrilling. The urns went in on August 30th. And it was amazing to see the reaction immediately. People walking by here with smiles made us very happy. If you were involved in the project, you might want to wend your way forward, because after my brief remarks, we're going to ask people to take a bow. It's rare on the occasion of a 100th birthday that you can do more than offer congratulations. Restoring a youthful feature is not usually an option. But our neighborhood centennial provided us with an opportunity to do just that. And we were able to restore the urns we celebrate today. It has sometimes seemed to Elizabeth and to me as though this project has taken a century to complete. And I am sure that our families would agree. But 100 years ago, when Thousand Oaks was young, Berkeley was growing from a sleepy town into a beautiful city, a city proud to call herself the Athens of the West. These classically inspired urns were well-chosen symbols for all that Berkeley hoped to become. Installing 20 or more, and there were that many originally, of these gigantic urns on a rock-strewn, oak-studded hillside seems like the most terrible idea. The antithesis of the idea of building with nature that was so prominent in this 1910 period. But amazingly, and I think because of the genius of Mark Daniels, the landscape designer who laid out the track and we're pretty sure chose the urns, they work, as we saw when the new urns were set in place on August 30th. They work because the shape and color and texture blend harmoniously with the oaks and the rocks. City planner Werner Hegemann noted in 1915, "It is as if the outlines of the oaks had suggested the curve of the street, and the forms of the large vases shaped in concrete. As the years went by, the city grew and changed, and gradually all but one of the original urns disappeared. They were lost but not forgotten. That remaining urn and some wonderful pictures, some of which you will see in the exhibit at the party, gave us the memory of what we could have. The designers of the urns knew the power of creating something beautiful for everyone to enjoy. Such things as this create a community identity, a sense of place, and always refresh our spirits. A century later, we respond to the urns as our earlier neighbors must have done, with pleasure and recognition that this is right. Such experiences make us feel connected to each other and stretch us, we hope, to be our best selves. We thank the creators of the urns for their vision, and we thank all of you for helping with the project so that we could affirm that vision 100 years later. Now we can once more enjoy more than one of these urns, civic works of art. The next item on the agenda, as it were, in the program is the acknowledgement of all the people who have helped with this, and it's been quite a cast. And so as we mention the names, we would like, please come forward so we can all kind of circle around the urn and you can see who was involved. Jim Horner, the campus landscape architect, was our lead partner, and I have to say this project would never have happened without Jim's involvement. He was with us every step of the way. He's not here today, but I told him that we would send a cheer that we hoped he could hear. Michael Casey.
Come on down.
Come on down, Michael.
They can see me better up here.
Is a historic preservation fabricator extraordinaire, highly recommended by Jim Horner. He created a mold from the original urn and fabricated the new urns and the lift. Sarita Camille Waite, here she is. Oh. The lift was missing on the one urn we had left. And one of the first things Jim Horner said to us is, you have to find an artist to create that lift because we didn't have it to make a mold from. And I immediately thought of Sarita because of the bears at the fountain. She stepped in generously, and as you can see, she's become an honorary neighbor. Thank you, Sarita. She also made the cutters for the urn, so that's above and beyond. Michael McCutcheon. Neighbor and contractor said, of course I can help with this, and pulled together a whole team of people to get the urns installed. He's still working on them, by the way. Alicia Conley? Please see, where are you? Yes. Generously provided site plans and graciously revised them when requirements of the project. Jim Duval. He would install the urns. I don't think he knew what he was getting into. But he did a fabulous job, and the concrete work you see here today and putting the urns in place was done by Jim and his crew. We're very grateful.
And there are pictures of this amazing event in the garden party exhibit place. There are pictures of Jim's crew installing these. It was really amazing.
So Monty Stott, I don't know if Monty is here. We had to get an engineering permit for these urns. You may not have realized that, but an engineering permit was required, and Monty and his office provided all the engineering calculations and drawings so we could get city approvals. So they did. So we're very that was done as a gift to the project as well. All of these things. Okay, Elizabeth.
Our City of Berkeley Partners, in an era of declining city resources, we really benefited from the city employees who helped us generously and graciously with anything that we asked. First of all, Lori Capitelli's office was wonderful. He got us a fee permit waiver of a very large amount of money, actually. and put out a notice of the celebration today and supported us in many other ways. Diana Aikenhead works for the Department of Public Works, and she guided our permit. First of all, she was a partner in our application, and secondly, she guided our permit through the intricacies of the City of Berkeley permit process and advised us of things that we obviously didn't know anything about and helped us prepare it. Sue Ferrara, who's the park superintendent, engineered the cleaning up of both of the spots for the urns, the one on the island and here, and had her gardeners come out and make a lovely spot for the urns to reside. Michael Vecchio, who's a traffic engineer, was a huge help in the siting of the urn on the bottom of Yosemite. He also helped us with the sign, which is there's a historical sign. It's somewhere over there underneath that traffic thing. And he actually, one of the best things was he got a new traffic sign for the island down there and put it lower.
And it went in yesterday morning at 8 o'clock.
Right. So we're really grateful for our City of Berkeley partners, and I think that we should, in a time when we all complain, we should applaud them.
The Berkeley Path Wanderers did an amazing job cleaning up the path just on Wednesday, and it's never looked better. And they also provided a walking tour today. And where is our walking tour guide? He should take a bow. The Berkeley Historical
Those
Plaque
who built,
Project
who saw
reduced
Berkeley as the Athens of the West and built for the generations to come.
Thank you.
Presenting them officially to the City of Berkeley, and I'm going to pass this microphone along.
But don't get too far away. My name is Jill Martinucci. I work for Berkeley Councilmember Lori Capitelli, who represents District 5 in this neighborhood. Unfortunately, he couldn't come today, which is okay with me because I have the great honor of being here and seeing all of you and thanking these women for this beautiful gift to the Thousand Oaks neighborhood. Thank you so much. I think all of us in the office have watched this project go on for several years, and we have been amazed at the ability to coordinate all the various aspects of our community, the university, various groups, the city, neighborhood, volunteers, to create this beautiful project that not only reminds us of the past, but also envisions a future of the aspects of our neighborhood that we love. And I want to personally thank Elizabeth and Trish, who have shown tremendous vision, grace, and in this town, tenacity in all kinds of challenges to see this through. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Pam Gray, and I'm the chair of the city's Parks and Recreation Commission. As some of you may know, we're an all-volunteer representation of the community appointed by council members and the mayor, and we help oversee the running of the 52 parks in Berkeley. And I just was delighted to be invited to come and be part of the dedication. I actually live 2 blocks from here and have found many excuses over the last 2 weeks to come by and enjoy the urns. So it's really a pleasure, and it has made me think so often that, as most of us I think could probably agree, there's a very small handful of things that we as Berkeleyites can actually agree on, and I think one of those small handful of things that we can actually agree on is we have a real shared love of our parks. And coming here and enjoying the urns that I have over the last 2 weeks has just really reminded me of that, and also reminded me of just what a gift it has been to have this donation, really, of all of us, of this community, of these these beautiful pieces of civic art into our parks. And so it's really, again, with a heart full of great gratitude on really behalf of the Parks Commission, that we also would like to say thank you so much for the incredible amount of work that you've done to get these here for all of us to enjoy.
I want to recognize that City Council Member Susan Wingriff is also here.
Yes.
Thank you for your support.
Been looking into Susan's smiling face and to acknowledge her. We will close with a tribute to Mark Daniels given by our party host, John Harris, who lives just down the street. John?
Thanks, Trish. I read the program a little while ago, and it said that I was giving a tribute to Mark Daniels. That's the first I've heard of it. But when you live in his house, as I have for 10 years, you start to channel him. He was a very interesting guy, and you'll find out more about him if you go into the studio at my home down the street. You'll go to the party, and on the west side of the property is a studio where we have an exhibit, and there's quite a bit about Mark Daniels. But what you won't find out about him is that he was quite a character, and he actually became an architect after he left Berkeley in about 1914. He moved to Southern California. He worked on the 17-mile drive with Maybach. He became an architect in Southern California, made some memorable buildings down there, but you wouldn't know that because he left Berkeley soon after he completed this project. He lived in my house about 2 or 3 years, his house. I live in his house. And he was also divorced by his wife on the grounds that he was spending too much time at the Bohemian Club, which is where I think he met Bernard Maybach, because a lot of his commissions must have come through that channel. So welcome to my garden, and a couple of things I want to mention when you get there. We have some books for sale. I've contributed a couple of the books that I've written over the years, and a book on the Berkeley rocks. These books, when you purchase them, the money goes to the Urn Project. So please buy books and make a contribution that way. If you want to look at the property, the east side of the property has a path that's fairly negotiable. Be careful. It's steep, and there's a lot of layers and levels and secret little areas that you'll discover when you go down there. The major rock you'll pass as you go down the east side of the property is a rock that I call Oak Rock. But the rocks on the property have been known for about 100 years as Shasta rocks. But I decided to name one of them Oak Rock because you'll find oak trees growing out of the rock. And that's something I think that kind of combines the symbols of Thousand Oaks, the oaks and the rocks growing together in such beauty. So welcome to my home. Enjoy the food that's been offered to you all, and thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much, and if you have time, we encourage you to stroll down to see the other new urn at the end of Yosemite at the Alameda and the original urn at the base of Indian Trail, which you can reach by walking down the Alameda if you don't want to try to navigate Indian Trail. Thank you all for being here. This is an exciting day, and you've made it very special for us.
How are you? A huge turnout.